Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Got another 2025 rookie profile show here for you. I'm going to be joined again with my podcast co host, Jason DiRienzo, and we're going to tell you everything you need to know about Arizona wide receiver TETAIROA McMillan. We watched 3 games and all 22 film. We did a film breakdown for my dashboard subscribers. So if you're interested in watching the 3-game breakdown of every play, hit me up via email below and I'll give you a 2-week subscription. Hang out for 2 weeks. Go check out all my all 22 films. It's pretty cool. Can't post them on this YouTube channel, unfortunately. I tried and they almost shut me down. But nonetheless, you play Devy, you play fantasy, Dynasty, and you are looking for a YouTube channel out there that's going to give you an early look at the future NFL draft classes, hit the subscribe button. Trying to grow the channel here. We got something for everyone for any kind of fantasy football format. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to the show. All right, you ready to get to our T-Mac 2025 rookie profile? All right, let's get started.
Yes, I am.
All right, so T-Mac. All right, Arizona wide receiver, true junior, 6'5", 210 pounds. Let's go over some of his career receiving production. All right, this year he had a breakout season. Man, as a freshman, he was pretty solid. 702 yards, receiving 8 touchdowns, put his name on the map, followed up with an unbelievable season in 2023, 1,236 yards with 10 touchdowns. You can see here on the, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see, the breakdown. He was a 76% out wide. He's a prototypical X type receiver, right? Lined up on the left side, primarily playing at Arizona, and 23% in the slot, which is good. I mean, you want some versatility. We saw, when we watched those all 22 films, and you and I just did a film breakdown, for our dashboard subscribers, the Colorado Mississippi State game and UCLA game. So, we took that game against Colorado was really good against Travis Hunter, right? So we got to see him play there. So, and in the slot, when he was playing, he was in a lot of those bunch formations, but good to see that versatility. His yak 6 yards per reception this season, which is really good. I was really surprised looking at his catch, his contested catch percentage, only 48. Which, after watching the film, man, he just excelled at those high point, 50-50 balls. So, but
I think that has a lot to do with Noah Fafita, honestly, from some of the film I watched.
yeah. So a lot of underthrown. We saw some underthrown balls too, because
Yep.
we watch the incompletions too, because you can still learn about a receiver just even if it's an incompletion. If they are running a route, right? So like I said, we watched the all 22 games, the Colorado, Mississippi State, UCLA game. So why don't you tell our listeners and viewers, Jason, like what was your overall thing? We'll get into the scouting report before we get to our tape grades and other fun stuff about it.
Yeah. I'll just kind of go from snap to finish. I mean, off the line, did I want to see a little bit more acceleration and manipulation? Yes. Was he effective winning at the line? Yes. Was he consistently winning at the line? No. So that's an area that I want to see improve, and I think we agreed upon that when we were watching the film. Just it would be nice to see a much better release package. He's got a nice single step. He tries to get a speed release going, but he just doesn't have that acceleration to lose the defender. Once he gets in his route stem, he is hand fighting throughout the stem. The long speed, or I shouldn't even say lack of long speed, but his ability to stack, that is questionable right now, because Travis Hunter did a really good job staying hip to hip with him in the game that we saw against Colorado. So that is an area I want to see him improve. But where he excels is one at the catch point. Those ball skills are phenomenal. His hands are gloves. He frames the football with his hand perfectly. One-handed catches, he makes them look easy. The catch radius, the contortion ability, the body control upon the catch. I mean, this kid is going to make a living above the rim, and that's pretty obvious. The route running was pretty impressive to me based on the basic route sheet that he prescribed. We saw nice fluid movements at times. The breaks could have been a little bit crisper, but at the same time, he executed the break the way he needed to get the leverage he needed to, whether it's inside or outside, to win against the defender, and then just executed a really nice catch. So I think for what we expect, from a kid like this, he does everything at a very high level. It's just getting that foundation of some of the route running and the release package that I want to see him improve on this upcoming season.
Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty good. I mean, I think his ball skills and hands are really good. The body control, the boundary awareness. We saw several, probably three or four
Hmm.
plays where they were just he knows where he is on the boundary, right? I think
Right.
he's got enough physicality. He's got that kind of awkward, like tall frame, right? Not I would say
Hmm.
I wouldn't say it's awkward. I'm just saying it's which
It's
kind of
long.
limit I mean it's long. It can limit you in
Right.
some of your, ability, but his physicality is great. And I think his yak ability is pretty solid too for a guy his size. I mean, he really navigates really well, I thought, in the second level, looks to continue downfield. He's not one of these guys that is afraid of contact. You can see he lowers his head, and I love that about receivers where they don't shy away from contact and fight for every yard. So, and again, I agree with you. His route running, we're going to want to look. What are we going to look for in the 2024 season? What we're going to be looking for is a little bit more snappiness, I think, at his breaks, a little bit more technique, a little bit more refinement, defensive manipulation. I think when we were again, recording that film breakdown, it was, you know, I don't know. I think we thought he has, he doesn't have consistent separation. He has
Right.
separation, but there was a lot of those vertical speed plays that we saw. You had mentioned he does have the ability to stack those receivers, but he's not going to be a burner, and no one, I don't think, would expect him to be given his size. So he's going to have to win. Playing like you said, I love that term, above the rim, right? He's going to go up and he's going to win those balls. So that's what we're going to be looking for in the 2024 season, and that's why
Hmm.
we watch the film. That's why we, watch the all 22 film, so we can really get a good look at him. Because you got to watch more than the highlights, everybody. That's just the way it is. You can't just
Yes.
watch the
Yes.
highlights on YouTube and say, oh, look how good, and see the same three clips on X and Twitter. You have to really watch the film. And that's what we do at the dashboard and record them for you. So you can, scout these players for yourself. All right, let's go to tape grades.
Yeah.
Release and route running. These tape grades are 1 through 5. I'm going to start. All right. I gave him release and route running a 4 because I can't give him a 5. You would think is the wide receiver 1 in the class for a lot of people, and he is for me right now. You would think I'd give him a 5, but after what we saw, I think he needs a little work.
I would agree. I gave him a 4 as well. He definitely needs a little bit of work. I think a 5 is reserved for someone like a Calvin Johnson who just knows everything he
Right.
needs to do to win at the release and within his route, and he's just not there yet.
Ball skills and hands. I give this man a 5. Again, those 3 films that we recorded that film review on, it's just, I mean, he made many catches, boundary, corner of the end
Mhm.
zone, in the middle of the field in traffic. I mean, the concentration, the ability to go up and get it. I gave him a 5.
Yeah, this is the easiest 5 I think I can give. He made it very simple for me.
Acceleration and speed, I gave him a 3.5. Again, for his size, what do you think he's going to run like at the combine if you had to guess?
Honestly, I was gonna bring this up. I don't think he should run. I think he should just copycat everything Drake London did during the draft process. He looks like he's probably a 4.55, 4.6 guy to me. I didn't see explosive long speed, and the fact that defenders were at his hip quite a bit, I just don't know if that long speed is there. He's gonna have to elongate those strides a bit, but he looks like a 4 or 5 guy to me.
Maybe. Okay. I gave him a 3.5. What did you give him?
I give him a 3.5 as well. I mean, I think I'm taking into account his size. For his size, I think it's pretty impressive what he can do as far as manipulating that speed. We saw him time some of his breaks and time his speed at times. So that was really good to see. We got another year upcoming where he can improve that. And I saw the drastic difference that Drake London took his freshman year once he got to the NFL. Wouldn't surprise me getting with an NFL strength and conditioning program if he improves that speed.
Yeah, you keep copying all my grades. Yards after catch, I gave him a 5. All right, because I think he's got really good ability with that. I think he's got good vision, and he sets up defenders with manipulation, tempos his runs, really tries to navigate the field. And I've watched so many wide receivers that just run forward and fall into people, and this guy gives it an effort, and he's looking for extra
Mhm.
yards. So again, he's got the physicality to boot. So I give him a 5.
I'll
Would
see
you?
you spoke too soon because I gave him a 4 here, so we are different on this one, and
All
I
right.
I think for me, like, a 5 is, in my mind, like, elite. To me, he's
Mhm.
not a Malachi Corley yak guy, but he can definitely create yak with the way that he plays, so I feel really good that he's above average in that area.
Yeah. Oh, now it's not the same. Now you're going to criticize my grade. Okay, that's how you're going to be. All right. All right. Physicality and athleticism. I gave him a 4. What'd you give him?
I gave him a 4 too, and I'm
Yeah.
taking into account that size speed combination.
Yeah. I think he's a good player, man. I can't,
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch him this year. So I wish he had transferred to an SEC team, but that's just me being selfish. That's all.
You know what? I actually think it's a fun story seeing him and Noah
And
Fafita just play
yeah,
together.
yeah.
It is pretty cool to see that combination, that chemistry.
I'll tell you when I was cutting up these films though, who's the kid that just went? I don't know, the name's escaping me. He just went to Cowing. Man,
Cowing, big
that
cowing.
guy was good. I really like him.
Oh,
I have a couple
so
shares of
explosive.
him like in the 4th or 5th round of my rookie drafts this year. I really hope. Where did he end up going again?
He went to the 49ers, and I loved the
49ers.
fit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Yeah. So
and
he
just a quick backstory, I got a
mhm,
chance to talk with him and interview him at the Senior Bowl, and
nice.
he compares his game to Tyler Lockett, and if you watch him, you can absolutely see
Mm.
it.
Yeah, so there's another tip for you. Go get yourself some
Yeah.
Jacob Cowing, but he popped on a lot of these films that I was cutting up anyway. All right, the draft capital. Let's talk about the draft capital. Okay, you can see if you're watching on YouTube on the screen here. He's number 7 right now overall, kind of going. He's the first wide receiver on mockdraftdatabase.com. After all these years, I'm finally figuring out how to say that website without bastardizing it. So he's number 7, but he's the number 1 receiver right now in on the website.
I mean, he's my number 1, so I that doesn't shock me at all.
So he's probably going to get early day one. Do you think he's a top 10 pick in the NFL
I'd
draft
say
right now?
top 15,
15.
just depending upon how the draft process goes for him. I don't want him to run. I want him to take the Drake London route. I think that'll
Mhm.
help him.
Okay. Player comp. You kind of, I think you maybe mentioned it, but if you didn't, I know you did on the
Yeah, a
film
couple of times
review.
already. That's on me.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's Drake London. I mean, I think we kind of talked about it. It's that's what he just looks like with the
Yeah.
height, the length, and Drake London, I thought early in his career at USC had a real trouble, really navigating those yak yards. But man, I'll tell you, by the time
Mhm.
he left for the NFL, he could do that too. So it was an easy comp for me
Yeah.
and Drake London. Who's your comp?
Yeah, my comp is gonna be T. Higgins. It's that above the
Nice.
rim win ability. It's the contortion, the body control, all of it, the length, the size, catch radius. So he just reminds me of how T. Higgins wins. I see very similar to how T. Mac wins.
Okay, so the last episode we had a different buy, sell, and hold for I think it was Judkins or Henderson when we did this for that. So is he a
Yeah, I think it's
buy,
Henderson.
sell, and a hold for you? What is he for you?
I am buying this guy up. I want
Mhm.
a share of him in every single league. I think this is a very special talent. Like we talked about Drake London, T. Higgins. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up having a production profiled career similar to Mike Evans if he really puts the route running and the release package together. We could see a very special player.
Yeah, he's going to be a hold for me. I'm not sure I'm going to go out and actively buy him right now. He is so expensive. You'd have to give up the farm.
Mhm,
I think he's a great player. He's my wide receiver 1 right now. But after kind of watching the film and cutting that up, I have to see a little bit more of the route running, just tactical part of it, the technical
mhm.
part of that, and to create a little bit more space creation. So, listen, the guy's been super productive over 2 years. I get it, but
Yeah.
I'm the one who preaches that you've got to create space. Did he create space on the field on the films that we watched? Yes. Does that translate those same moves that we saw on the film breakdown to an NFL roster playing against the elite? I don't know. I think that remains to be seen. So I don't know if he's an elite wide receiver prospect, a very good one. Let me ask you this: where would he rank in the top 3 from this past draft for you? And let's say he
Uh,
was in there with
hmm.
Harrison Odunze and neighbors. Like, where would he fit? For
That
I
is
know. I'm putting you on
That's
the spot.
great.
I
You know
know. I
what?
apologize.
No, it's
So
okay. I actually think he would be 4. I don't think
yeah.
he's in the same tier as a Dunze and Neighbors and Harrison, and it's the speed and acceleration, the explosiveness that's lacking that makes me feel like Rome has that. You
Hmm.
see it. It's evident in the film. If he could have that, he would be Roma Dunze. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's the part that I wanna see, and a lot of the question marks I had about Drake London coming out, I have about T-Mac. So, I'm so happy we have 1 more year because that last year of Drake London's, college career at USC
Right.
really helped because he looked different. Same thing with Rome. I had questions about Roma Odunze in that
Right.
last year. He looked different. He took a next step in his development. Who's to say that can't be T-Mac? So, I'm anxious to see if the things I'm concerned about improve this upcoming season.
Yeah, and hopefully this off season he's been looking at his film and getting coaching and being like, you got to do this better. You know, you want to be an
Right.
NFL prospect, you got to do this, you got to do this, and that's what he's working on. So, all right, guys, there you have it. There is our film rookie profile for T Mac, as we like to call him in the Devy space.